Hey everybody, what's happening? We're here with a timeless reading. My sleeves, there's something on it that's banging on the table. If it gets loud, I'll take the jacket off. Okay, first card out is the Knight of Wands. This Knight of Wands card particularly, I definitely feel this being like an effort to move forward or to get something going. See how the motorcycle's here and it's moving towards the sun. So the sun would be something that is, this person feels like attracted and pulled in this direction. This is something that you feel lit up by. To go towards the sun, it's something that feels like reminiscent of our self-expression in some way, no matter which way that is, whether it be something that we're saying or an act that we're doing or a creative pursuit of ours. It's moving towards the sun, which is that sort of reflection of who we perceive ourselves to be in some light. Then I'm seeing the star here too. So this can be you feeling motivated to move in a direction that feels aligned with your path. It can be a dream that you're pursuing, something that feels important. And this is also something, to have the Knight of Wands and to have the star. The star is when you're in an energy where you're like, people can think what they want, people can say what they want, but what matters is like what I think about this and if this is actually resonating with me. So Knight of Wands it's those moments where you feel like you're really hearing a call to move in a particular direction. And with the energy of the star, this is something that feels so just like normal and authentic to you that of course it would make sense for you to move in this direction. But I'm also seeing the Five of Swords too. So there can be something that you want to do that you feel inspired to pursue. And Five of Swords can be like, so many different things that the Five of Swords can be. It comes back to self-judgment of some sort, or like being scared of keeping your heart open. Because when we think about the Five of Swords, we see it as a card that depicts a person that's making moves and they don't care how it's going to affect or impact other people. But it comes from a space of being like, if I don't get mine, somebody's going to take advantage of me. So it can be a fear of like not being supported, or a fear of going into something with an open heart, because what if I need to be on guard? And it can also be sort of a prediction of people are going to have a problem with this, or people are going to have to say something, are going to have something to say about this, and I'm going to have to defend myself. But I do feel that with this star and the Five of Swords, so star is like something that means something to you to pursue, right? Where you're like, I know in my heart that that thing is right for me. Five of Swords is kind of feeling energetically like a preparation of, I'm gonna do this, and if somebody challenges that, I may challenge them back. Feisty. All right. I'm seeing something here that you enjoy doing. Yeah, Five of Swords and King of Swords here. There may be like a confrontation or something where you have to stand up. Because Five of Swords can also be you defending something that you're doing, where someone may have something to say about it and you're like, well, I'm doing what I want to do here. So it can be you advocating for yourself. And to also have the King of Swords here too, it does look like something is happening. So it feels like something physically that you're pursuing, but communication-wise, you may be called to sort of stand up for this. I'm getting this vibe of being like, I don't want the smoke, I don't want the confrontation. You may know that this is gonna come up. So it's like this, right? There's something that's calling to you, whether this be like a vocation or a relationship or like an identity, whatever this is, you feel like if it were just you and you would definitely go in this direction. If nobody had anything else to say about it, you would definitely be doing this. There wouldn't be a worry on your mind. However, like things aren't happening in a vacuum, and so it seems like by you doing this, like you're gonna have to maybe stand up for it, or there's gonna be a confrontation, or maybe it's controversial in some way. And I'm seeing this part of you that's like maybe not looking forward to having to defend this or communicate about this or be confronted about it. That's what this is feeling like. 5 of Swords, King of Swords, 5 of Pentacles. It's sort of like, I wish I could avoid this social interaction or this situation where I have to communicate or hear even what another person has to say. But it can also be feeling misunderstood too. Like, I wish that I had somebody to support me doing this rather than challenging me like that. I guess it's also like a matter of how important this is for you. And like, are you gonna back down or not? Just because times are a little bit rough here. So 5 of Pentacles happens. So that's you being in a spot where you're like, oh, I wish that I was not in these circumstances right now. They're really not ideal for me. But then I'm seeing the 10 of Swords. So this can even be about fear of like closing something out that needs to close out. And you may have needed to be the one to initiate this with the King of Swords here. Like you may have had to make this call, but it could have been something where you were like, I don't want to. And coming back to this 5 of Swords, I see it almost as you needing to like voice an opinion here and like be honest about something. And there can too be these feelings that you have of like, am I being selfish right now? Or am I just like putting myself first? Am I prioritizing myself? But 5 of Swords can be like this insecurity that we have showing up for ourselves. And again, feeling sort of like we have to defend something that we want to do, which, like, when I see what this thing is for you over here, like, no matter how this manifests materially, what I'm seeing is something, like, very genuine to you that you genuinely feel connected in pursuing. So it makes so much sense seeing you over here connected with this. But on the more, like, social end of things, it looks like there's stuff that has to happen that may not feel so pleasant. But then I'm seeing the 10 of Swords, so that does mean that something is done that needs to be done, but it may not be an easy thing to do. And with this 10 of Swords, it has the Scorpion on the bottom, and Scorpions are connected with Scorpio. I'm hearing resurrection specifically, but it's about like the death card when you think about it, how this ending is going to turn into something else, how it's all cyclical. Now I'm seeing the King of Pentacles, and I'm also seeing the Knight of Swords. Some of you, this is a role that you're pursuing, a role of some sort that you're stepping into. I will say this too, if you're like, there's nobody challenging me in what I'm doing, it's just me and myself, this can be some banter that was happening internally where you sort of needed to like work with your ego or work with your shadow and bring something to an end where you were like, I know that you feel scared right now, but we're gonna do this anyway, something like that. Because I'm seeing something genuinely that this feels like the right fit for you. And it seems too like there's like more and more learning about this. There can even be a conversation that's being had or information that you're getting. Like maybe even revealing your options to you. So I'm looking at Aquarius, I'm looking at Pisces. I'm seeing a position that you're stepping into. I'm seeing potentially a conversation that you're having about this. It's about something that had been inconclusive before. And I'm also seeing the moon too, which feels like certain things that weren't maybe spoken about or brought up may be happening now, but it wasn't the time before. Because the moon speaks about things that have been hidden, sort of going on behind the scenes even. And it looks like that's being brought up here. I'm getting stuff about hidden fears too. So for those of you that, I was seeing the Lovers, for those of you that this has to do with you and another person, they could have been really scared about something but didn't tell you. It seems like there was a lot of fear about closing out a cycle. And then being like, I don't know if I can do that. But it came out of them really limiting themselves is what I'm seeing. It's a moment where if one had like faith in themselves, or well, if one were connected with the faith of themselves in the situation and like optimistic and knowing things would work out, they would have gone through with this. But I'm seeing something that was like very heavy and very scary to them, and they felt very intimidated by it. Almost like a situation that they were like, I would do anything to get out of this rather than having to move through it. So it could have been something where like they wanted to end, but they weren't ending it out of fear. Because Five of Pentacles can be that vibe of like, I want to do something, but I can't. But then the can't is connected with a person's belief system, so that may not have been so, but they believe that it was so. Because Five of Pentacles, it's not like someone's like, I willingly want to limit myself here, you know. It's somebody that really believes that they are limited in some way. But it's like a fear mentality thing because of the moon being here. And it also feels like this wasn't expressed either. Like this was going on behind the scenes and it wasn't formally talked about. Could have been felt, but it wasn't like labeled or brought up. And it had to do with somebody's attachment, I'm seeing, with the Devil on the bottom of the deck. Like something even materially speaking. But doesn't have to be, it can be other things too. So I'm seeing someone standing here. I'm seeing another person coming to them to have a conversation with them about something that was, it feels like left up in the air. Like we started talking about that and then we never finished talking about that. And I'm seeing like what's hidden is somebody like really going through it. I'm seeing Five of Cups and I'm also seeing Two of Swords. So this can be somebody feeling very regretful over something and then also needing to make a choice as well about what they want to do about that, but sort of not having exposed this yet, which is definitely a theme that's been coming through in the last couple days that I've been seeing. I feel like collectively we're going through something where things that had not been said or things that had not been spoken about are now being clarified potentially, or the people that have something to say, they're really feeling called to do so right now. Because this does feel like things being left unsaid and something not being clarified about what somebody had been going through, even what they may be going through now. Because I'm seeing that when this person did not clarify what was happening, it created a lot of confusion within a dynamic is what I'm seeing. And it even had somebody feeling defensive because of that. Because you know when you find yourself in a situation where it's like, I'm not seeing how this all fits together, but I'm not really seeing what the issue is, but I know something's going on here. It feels like that. But I'm seeing someone was like even really fearful of talking about this and like wearing their heart on their sleeve, it seemed. Like maybe very fearful of being vulnerable. But part of the reason why they didn't say anything is because like they may not have known yet whether or not they were ready to change that. You know, somebody can come through and be like, I really regret like what happened and I wish I could have a redo, but they have something going on within their life that's not going to allow that, and they may not be ready to address that thing, you know. So that can also be another reason why someone doesn't say something, because they're like not ready to fully invest. Yeah, I'm seeing this have to do with somebody's feelings regarding a relationship. And a choice that needs to be made. Because 5 of Cups can be like lost opportunity or feeling regrets, and then 2 of Swords is like needing to do something about this. Having the Moon be there, it's like only this person knows. The other person has no idea of this. And I'm seeing it have to do with a relationship. The thing is, like, I'm seeing 10 of Swords and I'm seeing 2 of Swords over here. So it feels like something had been being put off. Meaning somebody may have known that they needed to do something, but they weren't doing it. Like really stalling here. And it can be like questioning one's decision making as well. So what it does seem like is that this person over here that's just hanging out and having this other person come to them, I'm seeing that the person that's coming through is clarifying something that was left up in the air, that there was confusion about. And it also looks like the phrase coming clean is coming through, but I feel more so like this person just wasn't saying certain things, not out of trying to be like malicious in any sort of way. It was more so that, I don't know, they just like weren't ready to talk about it yet, I guess. It like has to do with a very personal process of theirs that they're going through. But anyway, I'm seeing them come through to sort of clarify these things that had not been clarified before. And it's stuff that you didn't know that they were going through, or they didn't specifically tell you, we can say. Because who knows, maybe you picked up on some of this, but you were just waiting for them to actually bring it to you and say something about it. But I'm seeing that things were like, things were confusing before this clarifying conversation happened. I'm seeing there be something that was very, again, just up in the air. That's what keeps coming through. Something that you couldn't really make something out over here because of missing pieces. Couldn't put the pieces together because of the missing pieces. So this person is coming through and giving you those missing pieces. And I'm seeing it have to do with, I feel also too like they're going to tell you that because of something that they were going through, they like failed to do something, or they weren't ready to do something yet, but it feels like now they are. And I am seeing 4 of Wands and I'm seeing the Chariot. So this feels like it's going to have to do with a relationship, or like establishing a connection with this person and moving through like the challenges of doing that. So I feel like this time around they're proposing something to you now. But I'm getting that this wasn't what they were doing before. I feel like they were still coming to terms with something too. Like there could have been an overlap of timelines that made this a bit tricky. Yeah, I get the vibe that, like, one of the people within this scenario, the other person may have looked at them and been like, feeling like they were being kind of selfish and making moves that were just like benefiting them, or maybe very focused on themselves. But then I'm not really seeing that be the case anymore, but that could have been how they were being perceived for a period of time just because of what they were doing. But they needed to like work things out basically before they could resolve them or address them. And that's why things were like that. Could have even been things that you wanted clarified or you wanted to make sense, and they just like weren't able to do that for you. And you could have felt like they should have, but it's not what happened in the past. Okay, so what it looks like is that there is something now being established between you and this person, and I am seeing that this is sort of like moving along, but it seems like there's also stuff that's going to be happening that's like future related. I'm seeing you guys are making progress with one another, and I'm also seeing the Page of Cups and the Ace of Wands. So it feels like there's a sense of mutuality, opportunity, and feeling on the table. Something even feels more established, like there's a green light. Yeah, we're ending with the Ace of Pentacles, definitely. But I get the vibe that this person didn't know like whether or not they were ready for this new chapter, but it's like once they make up their mind, I'm actually seeing things move very quickly. But it's about like them going through this whole journey of getting to that point where they're actually ready. Because I'm getting like, for some of you, this person you've been dealing with, they had something on the line and they didn't know whether or not they were ready to hang up. And now I'm seeing them like making that choice and figuring out what new chapter they want. But I'm getting that they were like really, there was something that they were having a really hard time facing. So I'm seeing somebody be inspired to move forward now. And it feels too like they're really coming through in a, like you can take their energy seriously the way that they're showing up with the Knight of Wands and also the King of Coins. This is somebody that they're being like clear about what they want, and they're going about it in a methodical way where they're really backing up what they're telling you, and they're showing like, I'm here and this means something to me. You know, there's like passion behind it, there's fire behind it, there's a sense of intention behind it. And to have the King of Pentacles here, this is like able to rely on that now. So it feels like they're coming through in a very solid way. And then I'm seeing the Four of Wands too. So it feels like this person's intention is to like manifest stability with you in some way, to create a foundation. And I'm seeing it just be, again, like quite intentional on their end. And I'm seeing the Star, and I'm seeing the Knight of Swords, and I'm seeing the Chariot. So it feels now like a very important conversation about one's hopes for like the future and where we're going with things is finally happening and being accomplished. And that it feels like that communication that one may have been waiting for is like finally here, it's finally happening. And then I'm seeing Five of Swords and I'm seeing Seven of Cups. So it feels like one could have been confused about the way that somebody had been behaving. Like maybe even misread the conversation. Okay. I just get the vibe that somebody came off a type of way, but they may not have been meaning to do that. But it could have just been because like you thought that they weren't being clear about things, but they were actually like going through their own stuff and they felt pressure on them, you know. It's not just black and white, but what I'm getting is that whole vibe of like how we were perceiving one another, I'm seeing that there's like progress made on that end too, where you could have felt like someone was sort of selfishly leaving you hanging or leading you on in some way. But then I'm seeing us like move past that, okay? So I'm seeing there be progress made on that end, and then I'm seeing King of Swords, and I'm seeing the Moon, and I'm seeing the Page of Cups. So it's like somebody being honest with you about the way that they're feeling, finally having conversation where it's like they weren't telling you before and you felt like something was going on but they hadn't clarified for you, and now I'm seeing them clarify things for you, so you finally have that conversation about how everybody's feeling, so now it's out in the open, so that's a relief. And then I'm also seeing them like bring up things that they were scared about, so like fears that seems like it was also connected with their feelings, and it looks also like they were going through a period of like mourning as well. And so even though they see the Ace of Wands and they're like, I know that I had this opportunity here, I was also going through this other thing that looks like it was associated with something coming to an end for them, meaning this person could have felt sort of scared or limited or like uncomfortable moving forward because they were going through all of this stuff emotionally, even though they were like, I'm seeing this opportunity and I see that there are things to be happy about and excited about, and I know that once I get further I'm just going to be feeling a lot of joy about this because of what they were going through simultaneously. As far as a previous cycle coming to a close, it's like things were overlapping with one another is what I'm seeing, and that's what had them stammering about this new beginning. That's like why they weren't like making the decision about whether or not they wanted this new chapter. But now I'm seeing everything be clarified, and I'm seeing them be like, no, I definitely want it, like let's start this new chapter together. And I'm seeing 8 of Wands, so everything moves very quickly now, okay? I feel like that's an open and shut case. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.